Boy, we've had a couple of them. And as I mentioned, we've always utilized student consulting groups.
Okay.
And they have been everything from creating videos for us on what I would call our programmatic nature. Like we had some student consultants create videos on our special education process, on voting and voting rights, and other related videos. We had a student consulting group create our evaluation process.
Okay.
So the survey that we send to families, like how was their experience with us. We've had student consulting groups do research on software programs and databases for our Master Pool Trust program. So it's very technical in nature, a lot of legal things that are included in this database. Strategic planning. We've had student consulting groups do a little bit of everything.
Oh, wow. Okay. So my next question is, what type of consultants have you used in the past, or have you just used the same types of consultants?
Yeah, the same types of consultants. They have come from different areas. All of them have come from the University of Minnesota.
Okay.
Some have come from the Carlson schools, so they have been more business and strategic planning focused. Others have come from a program called the Center for Health Initiatives, and that has focused mostly on either public policy related matters or how we support families more directly. And they have done more of the strategic type of projects for us that we know are vitally important, but we're dealing with a lot of day-to-day operations. We don't always get to those bigger, more important projects. And I think in the nonprofit field in general, that is very typical.
Okay.
Where you have a lot of staff that are focusing on meeting the day-to-day needs of whatever their mission is, and those great, like, we can't wait to do type of projects a lot of times don't get done, just because they're very time-intensive. And when you're dealing with the day-to-day, you don't always have time that you can focus to do those bigger strategic projects, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so that's where student consultant groups especially can come in and get that work done that otherwise organizations and nonprofits can't get to.
Gotcha. My next question, what credentials must a consultant you hire have in order for your organization to hire them?
Great question. It really depends on the project.
Okay.
So anything that is business focused, obviously we are looking for business focused skills. So people who have strategic planning experience or project management experience. In other areas, we've had people who need public policy focused skills, grassroots organizing skills, public speaking skills. It's really been dependent on the project. One of the most important skills that I don't think is highlighted enough is actually listening to what our needs are and not having student consultants just run down the path they want to go to.
Yeah.
We used to have that issue a lot in the beginning where we were very clear, this is what we need you guys to do, and then the end product was anything but what we asked them to do. Because they got really excited about going down a tangent, and so they went with that tangent instead of meeting the needs we asked them to meet.
Gotcha.
And so I really think that active listening, doing what if you want to use the word client asks you to do in a consulting perspective, and making sure that you're always on the same page.
Yeah.
So the consultant and the client at the end of the experience are both getting out of it what they need so that they can both call it a success. Yeah,
definitely. Thank you. If you could choose an ideal consultant, what would that consultant group look like?
They would be team-based.
Okay.
We like to have multiple people.
Okay.
Because they have multiple perspectives. Great communicators. And then also very independent. We like to be able to give thoughts and ideas, but we don't want to necessarily be prescriptive in how the work gets done. We just want the group to be able to take our thoughts and ideas and kind of figure out how to get to the end result.
Okay.
And then our job is to provide coaching and direction, clarification, answering of questions, providing them with the information they need so that they can be independent in getting to that final result. If we have to, tell them what to do every single step, including like what color we want this particular object to be, we might as well do the work ourselves.
Right.
Because we're pretty much doing the work by telling you everything that we want to be done.
Yeah, right. Okay. What does the organization selection process look like from the start to finish when selecting an outside consultant?
Great question. It's actually very similar to how we conduct our interns.
Okay.
It's the same process where we do interviews. The only difference is instead of having a job description, we do what is called a request for proposals. So instead of these are all of the things that the intern would be doing, it's literally a bullet list of this is what we would like the student consultant group to complete. And then we do go through an interview process to make sure everybody is in agreement with, yep, this is something we think we can do as a consultant, and yep, it sounds like you guys have the right skills in order to be successful in this. So it is a partnership and collaboration.
Okay.
And if it doesn't work out, we have terminated consultants.
Okay.
Because, again, they were either A, not doing the work, or B, they were not doing the work we asked them to do and instead doing the work that they had wanted to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's really no different than, you hire an attorney and they're a horrible attorney, so you fire them and you get a new one.
Right.
It's really no different than that process.
Okay. Great. Every consultant experiences certain organizational or bureaucratic constraints imposed on them. What are some of those constraints that were imposed? It's kind of a difficult
question. Great question.
Okay.
Yeah, in our case, it's Google.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is we are Outlook-based.
Okay.
Most colleges are Google-based. So students are used to Google Drives. At least our organization does not have Google Drives. We have networks, and they're all internal. So outside individuals can't access that remotely.
Oh.
But Google Drives allow you to do that. It
Right.
allows multiple people to contribute. But then you have staff having to use personal Gmails instead of their professional organization one. So it gets really difficult because then how does the organization monitor that if everything that I'm doing is in a Google Drive, but I'm doing it through my personal email and not my professional email?
Okay.
So there's that barrier. And scheduling is probably a second barrier, especially in our case when we are using students. When our students usually available evenings and weekends,
Right.
most staff don't want to work all day Monday through Friday and then put in a lot of extra hours evenings and weekends.
Right.
So scheduling can be a little bit difficult, especially in a team setting when you're trying to coordinate times for 4 different people and nothing matches. And that's where Google Drives can become helpful. But again, if an organization is not using them, then it becomes an even bigger barrier. Because
Right.
now you don't have schedules that work, and now you don't have a system where you can put information that everybody can provide feedback on. And then probably, and this is horrible to say, I would probably also say, especially in our case with students, is commitment and dedication. When you're paying someone, it's a little bit easier to hold them accountable because you can fire them. You can refuse to pay them because they didn't complete the project. For students, that's a little bit trickier because some of them are doing it for a class assignment, so they have that motivation. Some are just doing it to build experience. But then you also have those barriers that come up with students having 18 or 21 credits, and they're working 30 hours a week, and they're trying, to get an internship to build experience or do these types of projects. And at some point, it's like, I need to sleep and I need to eat. And so it becomes difficult. And so some will ghost organizations, and they'll just drop out, and you don't hear from them again.
Oh, gosh.
And it's usually not a surprise because you can kind of see those things happening. But that is the reality when you're working with students, and it's a little bit more of a challenge when you're paying a consultant. Because, again, you can say, hey, according to our contract, this is what we agreed to. You're not fulfilling on that. It's really hard to do that with students because there isn't necessarily a contract per se.
Yeah.
It's more of an informal agreement.
Okay, great. So who does the hiring of your consultants?
Usually me.
Okay.
Especially if they're students.
Okay.
So I'm usually the one who goes through that, and then it's also depending on the project. It's in collaboration with the staff who are overseeing that project.
Okay, great. Have you ever felt as though these consulting groups aren't necessary?
No, just the opposite.
Okay.
We would actually work with more if we had the capacity to do so.
Okay.
But Yeah, just based on the barriers that I mentioned, it makes it more difficult. And so we traditionally work with anywhere between 2 to 4 groups a semester. If it was up to me, we would do like 7 to 10.
Okay.
But it just becomes it's too much. I don't have the capacity to deal with this. Even though they do great work and they're able to really help move an organization forward, we've just traditionally restrained ourselves and kept it to anywhere between 2 to 4 groups per semester.
Okay, great. I think so. You kind of mentioned this earlier, so I might be asking relatively the same question, but does your consultant always have your organization's best interests at hand?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would like to say yes, but I think it depends on the situation. I think the intention to have the best interest at heart is there, but then when those other barriers and obstacles come in place, then sometimes in some situations it's let's just get this done and get it over with kind of a thing. And so then the quality of the product is maybe not where we would have liked it to be. And then we sometimes question, is it the skill set of, maybe we needed a professional consultant versus students. Maybe the scope was too big and it was an unrealistic project, so then all these questions start coming up. So I think it gets hard to then answer did they have our best interest at heart, or were they doing this just to fulfill a class assignment?
Right.
Or just because they were required to for the sorority that they belong in. So that then becomes a little tricky to answer that question, because you don't want to assume people are doing it for their own self-ego.
Right.
But we know that, that is part of the package as well.
Right.
So we focus more on the intent versus on best interest.
Okay. So since they are students, are they volunteering their time, or do they have...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are 100% volunteering. Most of the time, if in the corporate world it occurs, they call it pro bono, where a professional is giving their service and their expertise free of charge. They're pretty much volunteering at that professional level. Students are doing the same thing. But a lot of individuals at the professional level can limit how much of that they're doing. Or if they even do it at all. So... So that's where it gets tricky, because students are 100% volunteer. Unless they are being required to, like I said, as part of a class assignment or something like that. They do get something out of it, but it's not monetarily. It's either, a grade for a class or experience on a resume. It's not as tangible as a check.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. And that was actually my last question. So that was great. Thank you so much, Michelle. Cool. I hope you have a good rest of your day and weekend.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice outside. So.
Yeah, I heard.
You heard.
I like the fall, because my allergies start to subside. I'm like one of those people who jumps up and down for joy when it's the first breeze, because it's like yes. That's good. But yeah, so if other assignments like what you just had come up, don't hesitate to call. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, have a great day. Thank you, Michelle. Okay. Bye-bye.